407 years ago.
That's how you're starting?
It was any given Thursday.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Is it 7 years ago? Fourscore and...
Yeah.
That is it, right?
407 years ago, our forefathers founded this great nation, yada, yada, yada. I don't know the whole fucking thing. I didn't have to record it, but... Or I didn't have... Not record it. I didn't have to...
You didn't have to memorize that one?
No.
I did.
Really?
And then cheated.
Oh, how dare you.
I didn't, actually cheat. I think I tried to bribe my teacher. And it failed, and I got yelled at, and he's like, it's okay, I'm giving everybody else, a few more days anyway, because nobody got it in 4 days.
Oh. So you bribed your teacher?
No, I didn't successfully bribe my teacher. I got guilted about it, and then it was like, well...
Oh, so you rolled real low on your persuasion.
I rolled real low on persuasion.
Okay, gotcha. And the teacher was like, oh, this kid's trying to bribe me right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I like my job. I'm not going to accept this.
It wasn't even a good bribe. No. I still feel guilty about that one, actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like one of those ones where it's just going to sit with you?
Oh, forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, ooh, I really did do that, huh?
I really did do that. I was just so nervous and pressure, and I don't memorize things well.
Fair.
So.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, we all got those.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a lot of them that it sits. And
years from now, you'll just wake up in a cold sweat and be like, shit, that one time on any given Thursday,
what? No. Oh, we haven't said our names yet.
Yeah, Rob and Kevin and me.
That's us, Kevin and Rob and Kevin.
And, yeah.
And me. Who's me? Me's like our guest starring me.
Yeah. The empty chair right there.
Oh, me, it's so great to have you on the show, really. It's been so long since we've had a chance to talk, and man, I really miss you, me.
So
I wasn't terrible, but I didn't hate that one.
Okay, I just paused too long. Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit, but no, it wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the worst.
No, you've done a lot worse than that. I've done worse than that.
We'll do worse than that.
We will continue to do worse than that.
Someday, any given Thursday, we'll have an intro, and then we'll look back and say,
yeah, remember the dark times? The dark times. If only those were lost sessions, huh?
Yeah, if only.
What are we talking about?
So, this week, I wanted to bring up something. It's kind of revolving around a few things, and I know that you're probably going to have feelings on this.
Interesting.
So, we both, me more recently, watched the show Dope Sick.
Yes.
And I have not stopped thinking about that shit.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, it's about the opioid crisis, but really how it started. And I'm not going to get into how shitty the pharmaceutical industry is right now.
I mean, we could.
We probably will at some point.
Yeah. I mean, fuck Purdue Pharma, but you know.
Fuck Purdue Pharma, but you want to know who else?
Fuck Connecticut, too.
Yeah.
For letting them... I mean,
is Purdue Pharma... Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're based in Stanford.
Yep. They were based
in Stanford.
At least that happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, highly recommend it. But
yeah, we don't highly recommend Purdue Pharma.
No.
Just check yourself on
that. Or opiates.
Yeah, no, don't do those.
Don't do those.
Unless they're prescribed by a doctor. But even then, make sure that you actually need them.
And like your doctor and are trusting. No, don't do that either.
No, don't ever be trusting of anyone.
No. But the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I didn't know this before, but fuck the FDA.
Okay. All right.
And that's not something you're probably supposed to say in broadcast.
Why not? They're the Food and Drug Administration. What are they going to fucking do? We already have assassins from both Russia and America coming after us.
That's true.
From an episode, however many,
2 or 3
4, 4, something like that ago, right? So we already have assassins coming to kill us. We might as well burn all the fucking bridges we can.
That's true.
So fuck the Food and Drug Administration. And tell us why, Rob.
So, directly from that show, at least, they are corrupt as shit. What?
Apparently, yeah.
Apparently, like, okay.
Allegedly.
It's just not good. Like, apparently pharmaceutical companies frequently will approve things in the FDA for drug companies and then mysteriously retire and a year later go work for that pharmaceutical company.
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around in somewhat common practice. And that is wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
As someone who loosely works for the government for now and until this airs,
good luck with that one.
I understand having to vet things and work on both sides of, like, policy. Like, we have to work with residents and we also have to work with developers. So, like, I get, like, to some degree, the FDA is probably like, okay, we have to help the people, but we have to work with the companies. But they should be protecting the people. That should be the primary goal.
Yes. It was. It was when it was founded.
Do you know anything about that? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, I remember...
It was in, with the meat industry, right?
Yes, it was, I think it was the early 1900s. It was around shortly after our Industrial Revolution when, we started, like, going big into factories. Chicago,
in particular, had very unsafe and very enormous meat processing plants.
Well, no, Chicago was the Shirtwaist Fire. I mean, meat was really like Wisconsin. Because the Packers, the Green Bay Packers, meat packing was very big in Wisconsin.
Yes. There were large meat processing plants in Chicago. I do remember learning about that.
Yes. Well, it's because that's where...
It's on the belt.
Yeah, well, and specifically that's where the end of the trail that ranchers would take their steers would end. Like, that was... So
it was in Chicago?
Yeah, well, it was in, like, the Illinois,
area.
Like, Iowa region.
They're getting the food to the Great Lakes so it can go by waterway around.
Yes, because they would start their trek up to slaughter, like, down in, like, the Oklahoma, Texas region, and then they'd trek them up. Yeah. And, like, on their way there, they're like, all right, eat good on the way, and then we're sending you to the slaughterhouse up here, and then you're going to get shipped out across the country. It was very, like, smart planning on ranchers' part. Because it's like, all right, I have my path, I'm getting them there, I'm selling them off, and, they're going to do what they are with them.
Distribution. Great.
Right. But yeah, so it was around the time of our Industrial Revolution when, like, factories were popping up and, we were really starting to become a more industrialized society. And along with that, more densely populated in some of the major city centers and the like. And yeah, the meat packers. Yeah. Because there was a huge thing about making sure that the
body parts don't get into your food.
Yeah.
Human body parts.
Yeah.
Don't get into your food.
Yeah. So, like, even then, because there was, like, a huge crackdown on, like, snake oil salesmen and the like. Like, it was a whole thing. Because, like, at that point, anyone could claim anything.
Right.
There was cocaine and Coca-Cola, like...
If only.
People were, like, giving away morphine as, like, a cure-all drug. Like, shit like that was still happening.
Right.
So, like...
I mean, it kind of was.
So, the FDA... I forget who established it. I think it was Teddy.
Teddy?
I think it was Teddy, but I'm very...
unsure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that.
I was going to bug him the rest of the night until I let him look that up, by the way.
I will Google it later. But I think Theodore Roosevelt established it in, like, what that would have been, like, 1910, I think, probably.
That sounds late.
No, because it was McKinley who got shot, and then...
I wish I could help you.
I know, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to say it was Teddy. All
right.
It was Teddy.
It might have been Teddy.
And I think it was Teddy, and I think it was between 1900 and 1910. Those are my... But it could be 1912, because that also jumps out, in which case it probably wouldn't have been Teddy. It would have been Wilson. But I don't think it was Wilson. Anyways,
regardless,
FDA,
loosely in that time frame, the FDA was established with the wholeheartedly lawful good intent of regulating the shit you put in your body.
Yeah, because wasn't that also a an effect of the muckrakers? Like the journalists that went into the cities and like showed all the shitty conditions.
What? I want to say that you have a damn good point there.
I think because I think the journalists, the muckrakers that went in and were like showing the shitty life that people had in the city.
Yeah, and at some point the government was like, "Oh, people are getting really upset because they're pointing out rich people doing shitty things. We should probably act like we're going to do something about that."
Yeah, I mean there was tons of labor riots in the early 1900s.
Oh yeah,
like and rightfully so.
Yeah,
and I mean the founding of labor unions, that was a whole nother fucking thing.
Which is true, but you want to know why the FDA took off?
Tell me.
It's because rich people are like, "Oh, the poor people are rioting," but then rich people are like, "Oh, I'm eating poor people because their body parts are getting put into my food."
Yikes. Fucking well. I cannot confirm that was the opinion of those there at the time, but I would not be surprised, only because I feel like in order for something to happen, politically or
they're usually
mostly politically.
Usually politically,
you have to convince the rich people. Money. Yeah, you got to convince the rich people that it's going to be worth it for them as well.
Because that's the only way to get past lobbyists.
Right.
You need to either get somebody really passionate who can raise a lot of money and still more money or sway lobbyists, which is no easy feat.
Absolutely
or
not.
You get a rich person already
who's on your side.
Do the lobbying for you.
Yep. Bribery. Wait, no. Sorry, lobbying.
No,
wait, oh shit. No, sorry, wait.
Lobbying.
Right. My mistake. I'm sorry.
Law-abiding lobbying.
Yes, right. Law-abiding bribery. Bribery that's okay.
Alright, so we get the FDA.
Yeah, and again, starting off great. I think, again, as you said, lawful good. Good intentions.
Good intentions.
Really good intentions.
We don't want people to be selling things to people that is either hurting them or just not what they're selling. And we also want people to stop inadvertently eating people.
Yeah, which I mean, like,
I know
kind of fucked, Because, people eating people,
Well, we're not getting into your strong desire to someday know what people taste like.
Sorry.
Someday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Starting off great. I would say continued great, even.
Probably for a little while.
I'm sure there was a good number of years.
Well, yeah, because I feel like originally, when drugs were starting to be a thing.
I mean, penicillin wasn't invented until the 40s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you didn't really have antibiotics didn't exist.
No.
But then when they did, it's a good thing the FDA was there to, regulate them out for the people.
But also,
supposedly,
before, then, there was probably just a lot of people trying to make drugs that helped people.
Oh, yeah.
And, there was no, name brand, there was no Advil.
No.
It wasn't, there was no, monopoly on a certain effective kind of drug.
Oh, absolutely.
So they probably had their work cut out for them.
Yeah.
It's how the hell do we know if any of this does anything?
Well,
they also probably had a lot of people just eating stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure it was
Oh, no, they tested animals back then. They
also
probably
true.
had a lot of animals getting doused in chemicals and eating stuff.
Yeah, but there's also anecdotal. They also tested humans,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
probably.
Take this. Oh, I feel so much better after taking this. All right, we're giving this to people now.
And then after that, they were like, wait a minute, you said better. Does that mean high, or do you just, actually feel better?
Good question. I don't know right now. Ask me in a couple hours.
Then they shit his brains out, and they're like, okay, next.
Yep.
Not that one.
Yep. Well, no, I mean, diarrhea is a side effect of most medicines.
It's true.
So,
okay, maybe medicine was probably a little bit more further along at that point in time than we're making it sound like. Just slightly. Just slightly. No? There's medicine's been practiced since early 1800s in some fashion or another.
Yeah, there were quote unquote doctors during the Civil War that were sawing off legs because it stopped the gangrene spread. Same thing was happening in World War I still. Hey, guess what? That was the 19-teens.
Okay, again.
The 19-teens, the best practice was to just cut the fucking limb off.
We didn't have penicillin. But there were still other herbal remedies for fevers and things.
Yeah, here.
You can't just cut off somebody's head because they have a fever.
No, here, let me give you this mint and turmeric concoction, and that's going to help you.
Well, that's how drugs started.
Well, for sure, but, it's not nearly as effective as, actual, Yeah,
lab testing.
Right, that thing.
We probably should have had somebody who knows about drugs on. I know a few, but
fuck it.
Oh well.
Advil, Tylenol, Motrin. There you go. Ibuprofen and acetaminophen. We could talk about antihistamines. Those are other ones.
Yeah, maybe.
We could talk about...
We could tell you not to take OxyContin.
We could say don't take OxyContin because...
It's highly addictive.
Because dope sick.
Because dope sick, yeah.
Yeah, which we just watch the show, though, because it was really good. If you have Hulla, watch the show.
If you have what?
Hulla.
Oh, yes.
If you have the streaming service...
That is green.
The green Hulla streaming service.
Yeah.
Then watch Dope Sick. There's Michael Keaton in it.
And there's Michael Keaton in it. And... Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
I like her.
Yes. A judge on the Go Big Show. Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
Yep.
Thought you were trying to name another actor, and I was like, nope. Just name that one. All right.
The thing she's most famous for, Rob. Clearly.
Yeah, that's it.
The thing she's most famous for, being a judge on the Go Big Show.
Michael Skarsgård is also in that.
Yep.
Which, not as name-worthy.
He was,
But he's still been in a lot of things. He's a very familiar face with a funny name, in the sense that Peter's really generic and Skarsgård's not the easiest to remember.
I thought you said Michael Skarsgård.
Peter Skarsgård.
Oh, you said Michael.
Did I say Okay, fine. I stand corrected, but also proved right. He's the lawyer.
Which lawyer?
The not the district attorney, but the main one leading the case who doesn't have cancer.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask the one that had cancer or no. Sorry, spoilers.
Minor spoilers. It's like episode 1.
Hey, that's big. That's a big deal, baby.
Okay.
That ain't easy.
I hear you. Spoiler alert.
But kind of, which you should say beforehand.
Yeah, but we should have. It was pretty early in the show.
Yeah.
Not really a main plot point.
No.
Regardless, lots of good actors. It's dramatized, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly based in fact from the little bit of research I did.
We don't do research for this show, Rob.
Well, no, but I did want to look up how much of that show was true, just because it had so many things in it that I was so upset about that I was curious if any of these characters were real.
I'm sure they were.
Michael Keaton's character was a conglomeration of doctors.
Okay.
Throughout that region.
Appalachia?
So, yeah. So not necessarily one specific doctor, but not necessarily an uncommon story for what happened.
Makes sense.
So he was used as a vessel to tell many a person's story.
Yep.
As were some of the other characters, but I think the vast majority of it was in fact based in historical events. By historical events, I mean about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 to 25 years ago.
Yeah. Which, I had no idea this was happening when it was happening. But,
and you hear about it, right? It's like, if you get a choice, some people just don't take OxyContin if they're prescribed it.
Right.
And I was always like, okay, I mean, yeah, I hear people get problems with opiates, but I don't really know much about it.
Yeah. And then little things. I think it was when I think it was maybe a week or so ago. We touched on this briefly, or maybe it might have been me and TK.
I think it might have been, yeah.
But either she brought up or you might have brought up the pain chart.
Yeah, the pain chart that you use when you go into the emergency room and they're like, oh, how are you feeling? How bad are you doing that you're in the emergency room on a scale of 1 to 10? And they have the little faces on it.
Yeah.
That was created and approved by... Well, no, I'm sorry. It was approved by the FDA and it ended up in hospitals. It was created by Purdue Pharma to help push OxyContin.
Yeah. Fucking a pharmaceutical company came up with a tool that was universally used, that still is
universally used
by doctors in hospitals.
Yeah. They made a shell company to help promote themselves.
Yep.
And had that shell company give out tools that would more easily get people to say that they were in greater amounts of pain to more easily prescribe higher doses of OxyContin. And all of these things, to one degree or another, were run by the FDA. Not run by, like in charge of, but like had to be approved by. Although there was a whole portion where the section of the FDA who looks at graphs apparently
did not approve something
that was used anyway.
Yeah.
So fine, that one guy did okay.
Yep, he did his job. But that's because he wasn't previously or potentially in the future going to be on Purdue Pharma's payroll.
Yeah.
Like a number of the people who were
working almost there. The rest of them who were either told to just not say anything or did say something and it just wasn't good.
Yeah. So don't work for pharmaceutical companies. Yeah. Don't work for the FDA because you can trust neither of them.
Yeah. So I don't want to touch on this too much, but when I was watching this and thinking about all this and things that were getting approved by the FDA. And then we go to modern times and the current situation that the world is in.
Such as?
The pandemic.
Oh, that's over.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're right.
What pandemic?
Yeah.
Bruh, I don't gotta wear a mask anymore, so there's no pandemic. That's just how that works. We got boosted to go to an event and they didn't check our cards, so the pandemic's over. That's how it works. There's no more pandemic.
Yeah.
It's gone. Don't talk about China. Don't talk about North Korea, who finally confirmed their first cases. Don't talk about it. Pandemic's over.
Yeah, or the over 20,000 hospitalizations that we've gotten in the past week.
Not me.
Yeah.
So it's not happening.
Yeah. Anyway, the one who is making those sorts of gestures and approving vaccines has been the FDA.
Well, yeah.
I am not anti-vax.
No, me neither.
In any way, shape, or form.
No.
However...
But you could be anti-FDA without being anti-vax.
Yeah.
And even then, I think anti-FDA is a little strong.
I'm not...
That's
no.
Because
I'm not saying... I am FDA skeptical.
Maybe we could be anti-DA, pro-FA. Like if they were to split and become the Food Administration and the Drug Administration, two parts, we could be anti-drug and pro-food.
So actually...
Because like I'm cool with all the shit that they're doing. I don't care if they put GMOs in their food. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I think it's all, malarkey. If people care about that, whatever, good for you. Have your opinion. I just don't give a fuck. So
I also have issue because I still think certain parts of the FDA try to do good. I think that we are getting increased information about nutritional facts on food.
Yeah.
Is important.
Again, the food side.
But I also think that serving sizes are unrealistic.
Because they're based on a 2,000 calorie diet.
Well, it's not just that though. Is that the company can say that their serving size is very small.
Sure.
And then say a dumb amount of servings are in a container.
Yeah. I'm sure. No.
Like, how is that?
I'm sure that's based more so on calculations done by the FDA and less so done by the company themselves.
I don't think so.
I don't know enough about this to
argue,
but I would lean more towards the government's in control of that.
I really don't think so. I think that if that were the case, then it would be more realistic for portions.
No, because we're fat Americans. So, like, the portions are realistic to a normal person, but we are not normal people.
How many serving sizes do you think are in a Easy Mac?
4 would be my guess.
The one you put a little bit of water in and throw into the microwave?
No, the box.
I just said Easy Mac.
Yeah, you ready?
No, I meant the cups of Easy Mac.
Kraft macaroni and cheese, 3 cheese box. 3 servings per container.
That's not bad. Do you know that a brick of ramen is like 3 servings?
I thought it was 2.
Still ridiculous.
No.
Who is splitting up a brick of ramen?
Poor fucking people. Okay?
They're like $1 a piece. How many of those did you eat at a time in college? Not knowing that there were multiple servings.
Not the point.
It's kind of the point.
No, because I'm not an average human being, Rob. I mean, obviously, we've already established that at this point. But like, I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. Some people are born big. These are all just callbacks to things that no one else has heard us say, but it's fine.
Some of those were real obscure.
But yeah, no, so like, you know, naturally, yes, I, as a larger person, am going to eat more than a typical serving size.
Okay, but
that's because I require more calories to maintain a specific weight because I'm a larger person.
Okay, but any sort of chip bag that says 6 chips is a serving,
yes,
is ridiculous.
It's true.
Why not just increase the freaking serving size?
Because then you have to decrease the size of the chip. And then people complain about that instead.
Why would you have to decrease the size of the chip?
Because
just give a realistic amount of the chips you're going to eat and say that much is a serving. And this is how much awful things you're putting into your body for the average consumption.
Because then people will realize... Actually, it's a marketing ploy. People will realize how much shit they're actually eating and how much shit they're
not what the FDA is in charge of.
No, that's fair.
That is the companies.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm starting to come over to your side now because why would the company would never want to do that. They would never want to do that.
Of course they wouldn't.
They want you to think if one serving size is the whole fucking box of Mac, right? And it tells you everything that's in it.
Exactly.
And like you're eating all this shit in one serving, people are going to be like, no, I don't need that.
Right.
But if they look at it and they're like, oh, this for a third, and then they're not going to do the fucking math.
What I believe is that the companies pick what the serving size is, and as long as they provide it, and it is a portion that a person can reasonably measure, then that is what the FDA approves.
That very well could be. That very well could be. That sounds smart, which means we're probably fucking wrong.
Probably.
Because if that makes sense to us, then there's no fucking way it's real.
But if I were to guess, I would say that some of those things were good intentions that companies have found big loopholes in.
Oh, yeah.
So what I
mean, who doesn't sit down and eat a whole bag of chips, you know? That's the serving size is the family size bag.
I cannot tell you how many times I sat down in high school, would get home from a sporting event practice here, and consume an entire bag of goldfish.
Sure.
That's like 8 servings.
Sure.
I ate 8 people's worth of goldfish like daily.
Yeah. The mythical creature, the one whose name we shall not speak. He would often, the one who I lived with for a while.
Yes.
And you lived with as well.
Yes.
He can down just full bags of Doritos in sittings easily. And he did it for years.
That's actually impressive.
Like he would have a family-sized bag of Doritos as a snack. He still might. I don't know if he does, but like...
Oh, that mythical creature. I'm sorry. I was thinking of a different one.
No, the mythical creature. The beast whose name we shall not say.
That one.
Yes. Yes.
The Great Auk.
Yes. Yes, that one. He will have the...
I remember
it's always
that.
the fucking sweet chili.
Yep.
Well, because it's not his favorite,
depends.
but that's the one he would get.
That's what you can find.
Because he liked the...
Spicy street taco?
Yes.
It was on that one.
That one for a while. Yeah. And then... it was the one that was out for a bit, and then they changed it to another one. The Buffalo Ranch, but it wasn't Buffalo Ranch. It was something... Right. I can't remember what it was, but he was obsessed with one of them.
Yep.
And then they stopped selling that one and later came out with one that was similar, but just slightly different. And then because it was not the same... He was very upset. Yeah. Because, I mean, come on, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, like...
He would devour Doritos.
Yes, one sitting, full family-size bag, easy. Yeah. We'd buy them. Like, we probably had to go through, like, a bag a week.
because he's a family.
We went through a bag... Aww.
He means family.
Aww.
To me.
That's too sweet. I should slap you for that.
But it just goes to my point where good intentions,
the
no longer lawful good, maybe neutral to chaotic good nature, neutral to neutral nature,
true neutral
nature of the FDA.
True neutral. They started off lawful good and they ended up true neutral. What a character arc, huh?
But so, I found out recently.
Oh boy.
Because...
Hit me with it, Daddy.
TK has a cat, and so I have a cat.
Yep.
And she put the bag of treats near my bed, so I could give the cat treats, and we could be friends.
Sure.
And...
Because you have a problem making friends with cats.
No, cats love me. I like cats. It's fine.
Yeah, Bunny loved you.
Bunny did love me.
It took a while.
How dare you?
I'm just saying it took a while.
How dare you?
It did take a while. Bunny warmed up to me quicker than she warmed up to you.
Bunny's a mutual friend's cat.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She is the queen. She's incredible.
She is a reward system based cat in that she rewards you by touching you like every once in a while. Like she'll brush up against you and then say, "No, that was enough for forever."
Yeah. And it works because you always want to come back for more. You keep hoping. No, Bunny, please grace me with your presence again. But
so I looked at this bag of treats, and I was reading it, and it's like, oh yeah, you can just give your cat 6 to 8 of these a day. And I'm like, isn't it well known that like pet treats are not good for pets? And they're telling you to give 6 to 8 to your pet, like, in an afternoon?
Sure.
And I'm like, that can't be right.
No, that's right.
And so I was like, does somebody regulate? That's a marketing ploy. At that point, if they're recommending you give that many treats to an animal, it's because they want you to go through the bag faster, so you'll get more because the pet's obviously going to want more of them.
Yes, but no. Because dogs, right? Do a trick, get a treat.
Yeah, but but even then, you need special healthy training treats for dogs, otherwise it is vastly unhealthy.
Sure, but you're gonna go through you're gonna go through at least 6. I think like in one training session.
But this is a cat.
Yeah,
These were on not healthy cat treats.
Yeah,
so I was like, well, who regulates this?
Is
there an FDA?
No, I don't know.
Is there an FDA for pet food?
PETA.
And oh god. Oh, we're not getting into PETA.
We did a couple episodes ago.
A little bit.
We mentioned them.
Screw PETA.
No, we agreed on the proper acronym. People eat tasty animals. That's the proper acronym. I'm people. I eat a tasty animal.
You're PETA.
I am PETA. I am PETA. Hear me roar.
But so I looked this up and I was like, well, okay. This is kind of food, right? And you know what? Dog treats might actually have serving sizes to some degree. I think I've seen them on Milk-Bone before, and I did not think of that until this moment.
Well, humans can eat dog treats.
Humans can eat?
I'm not saying they should. They can eat cat treats, too.
Humans eat cat treats and cat food, too.
Sure, I'm not saying they should.
Probably shouldn't.
Well, I don't...
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't.
I don't think it's bad for you, is the thing.
Okay, but so...
Is it nutritional? No, but...
So, the FDA, because it's food, has very slight regulations on this. Only, I'm pretty sure based on what I read, because it has the word food in it.
Okay.
And it is incredibly loose.
So, totally different, but kind of related, because that's how we do things.
Yeah.
Catnip is a drug for cats.
Sure.
So does the Food and Drug Administration also control pet drugs?
I didn't look into that.
Probably
I only
not.
looked into pet treats.
Probably fucking not.
But they do... They minorly can influence what marketing words are used on pet treats and pet food.
Interesting.
And that is the most control they have.
So they're influencing the Blue Buffalo people who are like, yeah, we use real meat and we use...
It is a very small percentage, and that I can actually say. I did also look up, in like the same article when I was trying to figure all this out. I don't know why. I just watched Dope Sick, and I was like, but I'm not feeding 6 to 8 of these to my cat. My cat would die of freaking a stroke from human-related cholesterol.
Throughout the day on a weekend?
That's still a lot of treats.
Yeah, but I'm spread out. I think 6 is like... Again, I think...
Yeah, as a human who is an American and eats too much, and it's like, yeah, treats are great. We should all eat more treats. My pet should eat all the treats.
Yeah.
Just like I should have a full box of chocolates and eat an entire family-sized bag of Doritos.
No. It's different. It's different. Because the serving size isn't 6 treats. For humans. The serving size isn't 6 chocolates. It's probably like one and a half.
It's probably like half of one.
Yeah, right? Depends if there's like nougat in it or,
But so there's not actual nutritional-based serving sizes for what's a healthy recommendation for animals. So some people are going to see 6 to 8 and be like, yeah, sure. And that's why your cat gets diabetes at 6.
Diabetes.
Yep.
Poor cats.
But that's crazy. And so they might have minor regulations.
They might have diabetes.
But probably. Yeah, my cat did. And when we gave him to the no-kill shelter and went to go visit it a week later, they said, it had diabetes. We put it down. And we were like, this is a no-kill shelter, PETA. Anyway.
No kill unless it's got diabetes.
We're like, she was fine. We loved her. Anyway.
So, I'm sorry for your loss, Rob.
But there might be regulations for dog food. And as a weird point of semi-fact, dogs are considered property.
Yes, they have to be licensed.
Cats are not.
Yeah.
Most animals besides dogs are not property, which means they are free, I suppose.
I think there's still special regulations for livestock.
Potentially, but that might not be licensing for specific ones, but more so because of probably actually my career, where they don't want people to have a farm's worth of animals on a tiny lot.
Rob, if I move to the town in which you work, and I buy a piece of land, I want to have a fucking goat on it.
You can't.
Well, I don't care what the town says. I'm going to do it anyway.
Then you'll pay lots of fines.
Good. The neighbors can complain all they fucking want. That's my lawnmower.
Your home will get foreclosed on.
Oh, yeah?
Probably.
How so?
Because there are daily accruing fines for zoning violations that you are breaking.
How do I know I'm breaking it?
Well, I just told you.
Yeah, but you can't prove that I know that I'm breaking it. Just because this is recorded, you can't prove that I know that I'm breaking it.
We would also tell you.
Sure, but what if I don't hear you?
We would also give you a notice that is certified that you have to sign off that you received.
What if I don't sign?
Eventually, it would happen. I promise.
I'm just saying. I think I can find a way to put off this for much longer than you would like.
You wouldn't be the first person.
I don't want to be the first.
The town I work in owns more homes that way than I would like to admit. I would assume.
Fair.
Not recently, but it's definitely happened. I've seen an unfair...
Unfair. I agree. Power to the people.
A large amount of fine that is enormously huge to have to pay off because somebody didn't want to get rid of the RV before.
I'll just win the lotto, dude.
So you get to keep your goat on your lot?
Yeah.
But so...
That's my lotto goat, baby.
In similar fashion, because dogs are considered property, we can regulate how many you're allowed to have on your property.
That's the government telling me how many pets I can own. I don't support the government telling me how many dogs I can have on my property.
But so that's...
Like, actually, kind of, though. I do think that's a little fucked. To an extent, if I'm in the tens, then all right, I think there's a limit, but I mean, well, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think even 3 would be too much, but maybe that's just me.
3's the limit.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's still a lot.
That's a lot of dogs on a very tiny lot.
Yeah, but it's still fuck the government for telling me. Just because I personally wouldn't want to have 12 dogs on my property doesn't mean I shouldn't be allowed to.
We've had some very sad instances where we didn't find out for a very long period of time. And then we had to tell this person who had 8 or 9 Shih Tzus for years that you can't keep these.
But they're so tiny.
You have too many.
2 of them is worth 1.
Too many noise.
Too many noise.
Too much noise. Well, actually, decibels are something that is tracked. But, regardless, too many. Too many Shih Tzus. And his response was, well, if it matters, a number of them are dying soon.
Wow.
They're just not in good health. And I think out of pity, we enforce that one less heavily. Because how do you respond to, don't worry... They'll probably be in the legal amount soon.
So here comes the government applying rules to some people differently than they apply rules. Oh, you did not. Did you not just say the phrase?
No.
Did you not just say, "Oh,
let's not do that."
We were less strict on this individual." Is that what you just said?
Able, if a resident is working with us to meet the zoning standard, to not have to enforce them immediately, to not have to fine them immediately. So because he was actively working with us, in the sense that his dogs were actively dying in a reasonable amount of time, we did not have to fine him.
I bring him in a lot of places there. One was, you're going to find this fucking man as he's losing his dogs.
No, we weren't. That's why we didn't.
No, I know, but I mean, you should have, according to the law. If you were strict to the T, if you were strict to the law, you should have fined him.
He was working on bringing himself and his property into compliance.
Sure, but you should find him. Right.
And really?
And I personally don't think that, but if you're to the T of the law, you should have given him a fine.
Well, that is why we are not police. We are zoning officials. Zoning officials have more ability to work with the public because of the position in which land use is a fuzzy area at times.
Are you saying that police don't have the ability to work with the public?
I'm saying they do, but usually the laws that they enforce are more black and white.
Really?
That was...
Are they?
Phrasing, huh?
Huh. The laws that the police enforce are very black and white, Rob.
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, if you look in the fact that usually they are for those who are white, and not always for are those who are of any other color. And there is that. But what I meant is that occasionally the laws are meant for public safety.
Oh, that's the fucking bullshit argument of the law. So it always comes down to public safety. Public safety. Fuck public safety.
Some of them are.
Give me my individual rights. Fuck public safety. I don't give a shit about my neighbor. Fuck my neighbor. You know? Like, seriously.
Be careful. The neighbors will...
That one.
The neighbors will talk to the landlords and you'll be out of home.
Nah, don't worry about it. I got an in. I got a connection. Don't you worry.
But yeah, I thought that was like the reasonable argument for the FDA can regulate dog food a little bit more because dogs are property, which is also kind of messed up.
Is it messed up that dogs are property?
Kinda.
No, I disagree.
It's a living thing.
Yeah.
You're calling it property.
It's an animal. It doesn't have the ability to care for itself without you.
I mean,
dogs more so than some creatures, but like more so than like a hamster. Dude, honestly, like if you put a hamster in the wild, they're fucked. Or a guinea pig, they're fucked. They can't do anything for themselves.
Guinea pigs live in the wild in like New Zealand, I think. I don't know how. I've never looked at a documentary about wild guinea pigs.
Not the ones that we get. They're domesticated as fuck, dude. You can't have them out in the wild. They're going to get just snatched up and eaten.
But
dogs can at least survive slightly better.
Like not Charlottes.
Oh, God, no.
But like,
not little babies.
But like actual dogs.
Medium to large dogs.
Would probably do okay for a little while.
A little while.
Some would last a good amount of time. Some...
But even then, they're still reliant on people.
Because we've made them reliant on people.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying I'm not making a judgment call whether it's good or bad that we've made them reliant on people.
Oh, and that's probably also another factor as to why they're considered property and have to be licensed, is because at this point in time, humans have become responsible for how dogs act.
Yeah.
Whereas cats are no man's land anarchists.
Yeah, you can't.
The cats really have tamed us.
Right.
And they are living their best lives and telling us we're living our best lives.
Right. Because what's that thing that parasite or whatever that cats have that their owners can also get, and it's like it convinces them to be more affectionate towards the cat or something.
What?
I think it's a thing.
That doesn't sound like a thing.
No, I think it's an actual thing. Like cats have this built-in thing in their genetics that like if you are like a cat owner, you will eventually have some sort of like shared. I think it's a parasite that like affects your behavior towards your cat, and it comes from the cat.
This sounds like information you got from a meme once.
No, I'm think
like pretty sure.
I think I saw it in a video that is probably scientific in nature. Which that's the most credence I can give it, and credit I can give it, I should say. Is that it was probably scientific in nature. But I think it's a thing. And Bumer's going to look it up for us.
I'm sure he will. He's been roasting us in the comments.
Bumer's gonna show what's good. He's going to be like, oh shit, Kevin. You were actually right about something for once.
There's no way.
I think it might be in their shit, actually.
Are you eating cat shit? I don't know a single cat owner who eats a lot of cat shit.
But when you clean it, you still get it, like, you still smell it. You could still potentially get it on your hand.
I don't smell it.
That's different. You don't smell. We've been over the fact that your olfactory senses do not work at the level of a normal human being.
Yeah.
You know? We also talked about how it would be a trade-off for your superpower. No, that is your superpower.
Maybe both.
But, like, it doesn't help. I mean, it might. I don't know. But it doesn't help when you're trying to figure out if the milk went bad. So, unless it's real bad.
Hey, if it gets me so my cat isn't hypnotizing me into worship it, then I'm just saying.
I think it's a thing. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you that it's a thing. Just you wait and see there, bud.
Oh man,
cats are wild. Literally, figuratively.
And apparently, according to the FDA.
Yeah. But they're also not property. Because we're the cat's property.
Yep. You figured it out.
Because of the parasite.
I mean, maybe.
Well, 100%.
Or they're just smarter than us.
Probably. I think that's a safe bet.
They really had Egypt in their grasp for a while.
It's true. They were gods.
Yeah.
Right and left hand of the pharaoh.
Yeah. Who needs people when you got cats?
Hold on a second.
No, man.
Hold on a second.
Oh, man.
So, humans, right? There's this crazy theory that some people believe that humans were placed here on this planet as a race of people from aliens that tried to... I told you, it's fucking crazy. Stick with me.
Okay, all right.
So, aliens placed humans on this planet to work as a slave race for them. And then we eventually became smart enough to realize that we were doing such. And then we, overthrew them and we won.
We overthrew the aliens and won.
And but
okay.
I'm evolving.
Apparently you had to have.
The humans were, the humans were humans. The aliens were cats. And we overthrew them in such a way that we think now we're the ones in control of them, but really they were the aliens here all along controlling us, and we're still slaves to them.
So doesn't that mean we didn't overthrow them?
Right. But we think we did.
Wouldn't there be like weird cat spaceships abound?
There are. We don't know if any alien spaceship that exists is or is not piloted by a cat.
We don't know if any alien spaceships do in fact exist.
Not true.
What do you mean not true?
The U.S. government has confirmed that there are unidentified flying objects.
Unidentified flying objects does not extend to extraterrestrial. That just means we found flying things and we don't know where they came from.
Right.
Likely it just came from other humans.
No. Cats. Cats.
I believe aliens exist. However, if the federal government was willing to appease the United States population in the height of a pandemic and be like, hey guys, we know you're upset. Here's some cool stuff.
They were just giving him something to read.
Yeah! They were just like, hey guys, we're confirming UFOs because you guys are all going to think this means aliens. And it really means literal unidentified flying objects.
But it could be aliens. Is the thing. And it probably is. And they're cats. End of story.
Which reminds me, on my flight to Vegas, I had another thought.
About cats.
About planes.
About aliens. Oh, planes.
Planes.
Yeah.
There's got to be an FDA for planes, right?
There's got to be an FDA for planes.
Yeah, there has to be some government body that's in charge of regulating and making sure planes are safe, and that probably does it.
There are air traffic controllers.
That is how they
on the
fly.
lower level. But yeah. But then I'm
talking about how they are built.
They're built?
Yeah,
probably,
right?
I would hope so.
But at the same time, okay, here's the thought. So I was flying cross country. I was looking out the window the entire time. Why the hell is the window so small? There's no way that technology has not advanced enough in the past 60 years that we couldn't increase the size of plane windows.
Because if it breaks, you're less likely to be sucked out due to the immense pressure vacuum that's created.
Yeah, but just find a way to make other things see through. I don't know. If it breaks, you're dying anyway.
If one window breaks, you're not dying.
How is that window going to break? They're too paned. There's a little hole in the second window, so that way there's not a pressure system that would increase the likelihood of them shattering and thus everybody dying.
Sure. But if one window breaks, not everybody's dying. But they keep them small enough so that way you don't get fucking sucked out.
But there are other materials that are just as strong that can make it transparent where you could just see.
Like what?
I don't have direct answers. I
What's
didn't get very far
material?
in my material science engineering pathway before I was like, I'm not an engineer anymore, to know other materials. But there are so many different forms of plastics and polymers. Glass is actually incredibly strong. It's just a little brittle.
Yeah. So why would we go to plastic instead?
Well, why not? That's what I'm saying. Do you like? Come on, that would be great. Like just the sides of planes, completely transparent.
No, I think that's a terrible idea. Also, just not even from like a design standpoint, just from like I would not want to be on a plane that's see-through.
I'm sure there wouldn't be some people, but some of the amazing part of flying is being able to look out and be like, that's some crazy stuff. I'm in the air. I will never see this like this again.
I had a window seat on a plane once, and I think I was 5 years old.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember anything about it, and it did not entice me enough to want to care.
Are you afraid of heights?
I've been on plenty of planes.
Do you have no whimsy or wonder? I know who I'm talking to. Why is that a question?
No. I don't.
I have a great time every time I fly, and I am glued to the window until I cannot see anything anymore.
That's why when
flying was first a thing, that's how literally everybody was.
Sure.
It was an event.
Yeah. So, it's not anymore.
Yeah, but we could find ways to bring that back. That'd be amazing.
Who cares? We have much bigger problems to worry about than seeing more out of a fucking plane window.
I'm not saying that we don't have more things to worry about. I'm just saying in like the 100 years of flying that the windows probably could have gotten a little bit bigger, okay?
I think it's a waste of time and money. And you would never be able to convince probably aircraft manufacturers to want to do something like that because they'd have to spend more money on it, which means they're losing money in the process.
They might not have to spend
They probably are. I'm sure that's why it hasn't been done yet.
I think
if they could save money on it, they probably would have done it already.
I think it's just because they're lazy. Mind you, I haven't flown anything that costs money in a while. I was flying Spirit and could barely see anything or sit without being in pain. So, like...
Wait, airplanes suck.
Not all airplanes suck.
All airplanes suck.
You are so cynical about flying.
Yeah. You go there, you sit in a tight little fucking chair, you pretend to care about the movie you're watching because, you're like, I need something to distract me from the fact that I'm stuck in this fucking tin-ass thing and I'm cramped up here and I'm incredibly uncomfortable and I'm probably going to have to get up to pee a couple times and it's going to piss people off because, I'm going to have to go past at least the guy on my right because I don't get windows, so I'm either middle or I try to get an aisle when possible, but I always get an aisle. And then if you do get an aisle, then the carts are going fucking by and they slam your elbow and they slam your knee because I got to stick my leg out into the fucking thing because otherwise there's no way I'm comfortable on the fucking ride. Planes suck.
See, this is why I am not convinced that there's a proper FDA for planes.
There is a proper FDA for planes.
I don't know.
I'm sure there is.
It sounds like it's still a very miserable experience.
Yeah, I'm a large person. I don't do well on little things. I don't even like theater seats. And I love going to see shows in the theater. But theater seats are the worst part of the fucking experience.
I'm just saying, I feel like the experience could be better for not that much more expense.
Yeah, but because it's more expense, you're not going to get people to sign on to it. So it's not going to happen. Because we live in the rich man's world. Because we're living in the rich man's world. I wish I was a rich man's girl. but I'm not. It'd be kind of cool.
Regardless, there's got to be an FDA for planes. I don't trust them, just like I don't trust the normal FDA, who apparently can't regulate pet treats well enough to be safe for our goddamn animals.
That's why PETA needs to exist. I'm backtracking. Someone's got to protect the animals.
I thought PETA needed to exist so that way they could harm other animals while telling you not to eat other animals.
Yes. You see, it's a dichotomy, really. It's but, oh well. We got to wrap this up.
I know.
So, ta-da!
But yeah, there was going to be no clear ending to this. What, the FDA stinks?
But not always.
But not always.
But kind of.
They might have good intents.
The FDA of planes probably also stinks.
Probably also stinks based on
plane manufacturers stink. Planes stink.
I wouldn't know.
Flying is overrated.
I disagree with that.
The superpower of flight is overrated.
That's also false.
Teleportation is objectively better.
I think telekinesis is really the best, but okay, continue.
Watch Dopesick.
Definitely watch Dopesick. It's educational and entertaining.
Edutainment. That's an actual thing.
Yeah, that's the category that our podcast is listed as, actually.
Edutainment. If only they had that.
Right?
Dude, we would be killing it. Hopefully.
I mean, maybe. Nobody's learning anything. But
They're learning things. They're learning about things and stuff. And they're being, quote-unquote, entertained.
And that's why we appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to the whole thing.
It was a slog.
Which is fine.
That's what we're supposed to do.
It's just, it's just,
that's what the people want.
It depends on what you're here for.
No, I know that's what they want. Because none of them say it in the comments.
True. we haven't heard otherwise.
Exactly.
And then who knows what's going to happen next week, because, fuck the world and everyone in it. Anyways, you guys are great. Thank you for listening to the whole thing. I can't believe you made it this far.
We can't.
You shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have.
But you did, and I love you.
He does.